Hi, everybody. This is Laura. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an orientation to our VIPs that are going to be starting in the next coming weeks, couple of weeks, week after next, I guess. I'm losing all track of time. I did an orientation video for the students that really focuses on what the VIPs are and how they access them and what their responsibilities are. I wanted to focus on really the grading aspect of it for you guys, but you're welcome to watch their video as well. So just a quick overview for those of you who are not familiar with the VIPs. These are virtual independent patients. That's what VIP stands for. These are pediatric patients, and they are created as unfolding cases that go across the continuum. So they start like in an outpatient setting. They will unfold every week. Something different will happen in their case, and the students will have assignments where they will intervene in the care of these patients. And it goes through like into an inpatient experience, preparing for discharge, or change of hands, whatever. That it includes an SBAR. It also, because they are in pediatric patients, it will include developmental things like a teaching project and a toy project, things like that. We have been fortunate enough to get a grant that allowed us to develop and implement artificial intelligence into these cases that we are currently using. And so each of the students will have the opportunity to experience working with an AI component in interacting with these patients. So they will have a couple of opportunities to have AI conversations with an AI patient situation, as well as a parent, to bring that experience into the mix. So I think those are some great things, and those are the things that I want to talk to you about. So let me show you. There are multiple different components that go into this as far as what the students have to do and what we have to grade. And I think that we've been able to do a couple of things that make our lives a little bit easier from the grading perspective. I hope that was my goal. So I want to just give you a little bit of an overview of how these things unfold. We have 3 different patients. Aisha, who's a teenager and has sickle cell disease. Jenny, who is a school-age child and 8-year-old with type 1 diabetes, newly diagnosed type 1 diabetes. And Sophia, who is a little bit older school-age with lupus. So they all are going to start out week 1 just with some basic assessment things, assessment history, social history taking, things like that. This one is pretty heavy because they have to do an assessment. They have a conversation with their AI patient with that history taking. And they also have to do a demonstration of a focused assessment. They have to figure out what the priority systems are that they need to be assessing for each of these patients or for their assigned patient. And then they have to demonstrate doing a focused assessment on the priority areas. Week 2 is just like they have some new order. Each of these have new orders, and they have to do some like an activity. There's either like next gen type questions that they have to answer, or they have to fill out some medication charts or something like that related to the patient. And then they have an essay that they have to do, which is related to the care of patients with their specific problems. Week 3 is just a conversation with their AI patient. And then week 4 is a big one. All 3 of these patients get hospitalized and have acute issues, and they have to do a conversation with their AI patient, and then a lot of next gen type questions about the care of their patient. Week 5 is a heavy one too, because they have to do a video doing a demonstration of a skill. All 3 of these skills are a sterile technique. They're all like a sterile dressing change. One is Sophia has a peritoneal dialysis catheter dressing change, and we made it sterile so that we could do a sterile technique. And then the other two have PICC lines, and they're going to do dressing changes on the PICC lines. And then the last one is an S-bar that they have to do. And then and then they end with their teaching plan and toy project, which is a group project. So that's kind of how this looks. It's how it unfolds. All of the patients, their information and everything is kind of housed on a Google site, and it will unfold. We will unlock them. We will open them or publish them every week on Tuesday, and they have an entire week to complete their work. So it will open on Tuesday morning, and everything is due the following Monday at 23:59. So they have all of their instructions, and all of the information that they need is here. And then at the bottom of each page or each week, it will kind of give them a rundown of here's exactly what is due and where it is due, where you go to do that information. So either you go to some Converse, it's a quiz in Canvas, or you go to the link in Canvas, which will take you to Harmonize to record your video. And so you can see, like, this would be what scenario 2 looks like. You've got these orders. Here's your stuff for your essay. Here are the things that you need to do. And so is how that will roll out. I will tell you, you can see this one has a quiz, for example. Most of the quizzes are like multiple choice type questions or multiple answer, different things like that, which Canvas will grade for us. And I'm super excited to see how that works, because we have not done it that way before. And I think that's going to save all of us a lot of time and be a lot more objective. But there are some essay type questions or open-ended questions. And so I want to show you not that document, this document, which is a quick answer key. And so these are all posted in Canvas, so that for the questions that are open-ended that we are going to have to go back and review, you've got a quick answer key here that will have kind of guide you in how to grade those. The answers are also posted in Canvas, but just in case you do have this link, this resource. What I want to spend my time, you are all going to be going to the orientation for Harmonize, which will go through how to use and grade using Harmonize. They all have rubrics, so that should not be difficult, but I want to spend some time showing you what to do with SimConverse. I know that you all haven't gotten your links and instructions on how to even get to SimConverse yet. You're going to get that very soon. But this is what SimConverse is going to look like when you go in here, and you're all going to go over here to administer, and you're going to go to cohorts. I think it actually just pops up this way, but just in case. And your cohorts will pop up over here. I think when we set it up, we put you in your cohort, so only your patients are going to show up. So you won't have quite as many as I do. But what you're going to see is, like, your patient will show up, and over here where it says activity, this is where you want to go. And it will show you the 3 things. So there's the first assignment is the history taking. The second assignment is addressing the parent concern or the patient concern. It depends on which patient you have. And then the third one will, again, either be the patient or the parent, depending on which patient you have. When you want to look at the conversations, you click here. We don't have any yet for ours, but it will pull up your roster, and you click here under task to actually view that. So I'm going to show you one from last semester so that you can look at, so I can show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go here to Aisha. And we'll go to the history taking, which is the first thing that they do. And we'll just pull up one of our patients. So like you can see here, here's the results. So they did the briefing. They had the first conversation. They always have 2 conversations. After the first, they will do a debriefing and it will show the rubric and what all they missed. And they have the opportunity to write down, take notes, do whatever they want, and they can go back and have a second conversation. So there's really no reason for them to miss anything on that second conversation. So you can see here she didn't pass the first one, but she passed the second. And so what we're going to do is grade only on the second conversation. And so really all you have to do is go to that second conversation and just click on this. Now, if you have time to read all of this stuff, some of them are pretty interesting actually, but if you have time to sit and read those things, bless you. I don't, we really don't. So all you really have to do is go up here to continue to feedback, because that's what we're interested in. You can see their score. But what we're looking at really is you're looking at these checks, these green checks. And so if you see any red checks, these red checks, we're deducting 5 points. So that would be -5 out of 100. So 5, 10, 15. So she's missed 15 points. You're going to take that back to Canvas and go to her assignment in Canvas. Let me find it. That was Aisha's focused assessment. And so she would get a 85 on that. And let me just make a little note on this. You can see that for Aisha, for scenario number 1, there's 3 different things she's turning in. I know that it seems really weird that we're taking off like 5 points, and that seems like it's a big deal, but it's not really an 85, because when you add up all of these things for that assignment, it's actually really pretty minuscule. And this assignment plus all of her other assignments for the VIPs, it's only 10.5% of their total grade. These are not going to make or break our students' grades in the whole scheme of thing. So when our students are like, oh my gosh, I got a 60, it's really not a 60. So don't let your students freak out about these grades, because that's not what it really means in the whole scheme of things. And the feedback is really what's most important as well. But don't let them freak out over these grades, because that's not what they really mean in the whole big picture. And I think that the whole grade book in its entirety will reflect that. I think that that's the main things that I needed to cover. I know that y'all are going to have lots more questions as you start getting into it, but feel free to reach out to me and let me know what questions you have. Thanks.